Alright guys, it's day 3 of the iPhone challenge, and I just got back from my supply store and I got a bunch of things that I'm going to be using for tonight's job. You'll recognize this. This is that digester that I use in the extractor because I'm going to be doing their carpets here. I had to buy a new pump because mine broke. I dropped it, so I got one of these like sprayers. I might use that on this job. I don't know yet. And I picked up some urinal screens for one of my regular customers. These are tangerine flavored. They smell really good. Or they're Tango Mango. So I'm thinking about getting some custom ones made with my company logo on them, just for, you know, advertising. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up the van and then we're gonna head out. We're gonna go do the first job. If you guys remember, I think it's about $650 and it's a little restaurant that kind of reminds me of Subway. I think they make sandwiches and stuff like that. I actually don't know a whole lot about them. I was worried that the guy might not have me come in because he said he needed to do some work in the kitchen, like install some new tile because it was all cracked and stuff. And he told me that if he couldn't get that done this past weekend, that I wouldn't be able to come in and do the floors. But I just called him today to reconfirm everything and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that job. I gotta be there at 6:30 and I'm thinking I might be done around 1 in the morning or something. So let's see what happens. So 1 week ago, I decided to do this iPhone challenge, and I had no idea that this guy even existed. I'd never heard of his restaurant. I didn't know anything about him. I just decided to go out door to door and introduce myself to people and let them know what I could do for them. And I told this guy that I could clean his floors. He happened to have the $650 in his pocket to hire me, and now, a week later, I'm on my way to go do this job. And that's why I wanted to make this video, is because a lot of people get on hard times financially and they don't know what they're gonna do. And there's just so much money all around us. You can just pull it out of the ether, out of the universe. You just offer something to somebody and they will give you money if it's good enough. And I know it's easy for me to say, because like I have this van and I've got all this equipment and stuff, but I'm the one that went out and I learned how to use it and I saved up my money and I bought it. And that's why I can offer these services and ask for this much money and find it from people on a consistent basis. And you could do that too. It doesn't matter what kind of business you want to start. There's a lot of easy businesses. You could get really good at detailing cars. You could buy yourself a buffer, some of the chemicals and supplies that you need, get really good at detailing cars and go door to door, and people will pay you a lot of money. I paid $400 to get my car detailed. I would probably do it again, and a lot of people need it because like you can restore the paint and make a car look brand new. Like you can make an old car that's been weathered and beaten down by the sun, and you can rejuvenate that paint, and it's a lot cheaper than getting a paint job. That's an easy skill to learn, and you could go out there and offer it to people. And there's other jobs, just like you could start a painting company. You could get really good at painting interiors, and you could buy a paint gun and an air compressor and learn how to set up jobs and become a professional at it and make a ton of money. I knew this guy. This was in Utah before I moved. I worked for him. He owned a painting company and he would go out and get government contracts, and he got to the point where he was doing hospitals and airports and huge businesses. He drove a Ferrari. He was an older guy. He's probably 55. He had a Ferrari. He had an airplane. Like he had a private jet, and he said it's a business expense, and he basically used it to fly to like Nevada, Arizona, all the surrounding states and go bid on bigger jobs. Really, the guy just liked to travel and he wanted to buy an airplane, so he bought it under his business name, I think. But whatever, he made enough money that he could buy a freaking airplane. And like we would go to his hangar and we'd hang out and do some work for him there, and like it was like just a really cool experience. And that guy just owned a painting company. Now, painting's a skill and it takes time to build that skill, but it's something anybody could do. I'm on my way to this job now, and we'll check in with you once we arrive. All right guys, I just got the carpets cleaned here. See behind me, and then down this hallway. This is like a small sample of what I'm gonna be doing. I think it's about 7 o'clock right now. Hoping I finish up around midnight. And I'll try and get some before and after photos for you guys. All right, I got the stripper on the floor sitting there. It's got to wait about 20 minutes, so now I just sit here and hang out. It's pretty cool. It's kind of quiet. No one's around. I got some alone time. Get to listen to my headphones and just wait for that wax to dissolve. Talked to the guy that owns this place. He said he doesn't want to pay me until tomorrow, which is fine. I mean, he doesn't know me. I just walked in off the street. So he wants to see the job before he pays me, but I'm pretty sure that I'll get paid right away. He seems like a trustworthy guy, and he just wants to know I'm going to do good work for him. So anyway, I should get paid tomorrow, and then I'll set that money aside, and I got that other big job for this challenge coming up next week, and I'll make a video about that. All right, guys, I got all the floors scrubbed and everything, just waiting for them to dry. I'm going to throw some wax on here. I want to answer a question that I get all the time. And it's probably because I've been working all night and I'm like super tired. I'm a little bit crazy. And I've been listening to these like motivational YouTube videos and stuff. But one question that I always get is, why don't you hire any staff? And people want to know, because I work my ass off and it just seems like it would be a lot easier if I hired somebody. And if I'm making all this money, why don't I use some of it to hire somebody? And I have a couple of reasons. And one of the obvious ones is, when you hire people, it becomes a huge pain in the ass, because then you become a manager and you're responsible for these people. And you're responsible for their output and if they're making the customers happy, but then you're responsible for their livelihoods. You have to put the food on the table for those people. You have to help put their kids through school. You have to pay their rent and their mortgage. And I've done that. I've had 15 people that I was fully responsible for. I think it was like my second or third year in business. I hired 15 people and we were out washing windows every day. I had a full sales team and a full labor team out washing windows. I had people doing all my nightly accounts, and I had this operation really moving, and I didn't like it. I couldn't handle it. I didn't have any of the processes in place to really be effective and to manage everything. The business started managing me, and that was very difficult, and I made the choice to scale back and do the work on my own. So here I am tonight doing this job, and it's taken me 6 hours, but I don't have the stress of managing people. I don't have the stress of finding the next job and the next job and the next job, because it never ends. You have to find a steady stream of customers in order to support a full-time staff. People want to work 40 hours a week, and they want full benefits, they want paid vacation, they want time off, and they don't really care about the business. They don't have the same passion and drive as you. Employees just want to show up, get the job done, go home, not worry about it. And they need you to stay consistent and bring in those hours so that you can schedule them, because they've got bills to pay. Anyway, I didn't really want to deal with all that. So eventually we phased everybody out and I went down doing my own thing. And here's the second thing. Tonight, I'm making $650. I'm doing it by myself. That is an awesome feeling. Like, you have to work your ass off doing this job. It is so physical. Your knees are killing you. Like, I'm all sweaty right now, and you get so tired that when you push through that tiredness, through that weakness, when you get halfway through a job and you're just like, I don't even know how the hell I'm gonna do it, but you keep pushing forward anyway, and you overcome that weakness that's inside of you, it feels amazing. It really feels amazing to just push and just go hard as you can. When you work 15, 20 hours in a row, you just get this feeling like you're an athlete, like you can accomplish anything. And then to make it even better, you got like $500, $600, $1,000 in your pocket at the end of the day. You feel like a god. It's just this amazing feeling of accomplishment, like you did it. Like you had this idea, you built this business, you took all this sacrifice, and you made all these decisions, and now here you are delivering a service that's going to make somebody really happy, and you're going to push through all of the obstacles, whatever comes your way, and you're going to fight through that being tired, and man, you get that money at the end of the day, and it's just like, there's no better feeling. And so it's like, why hire anybody? Why deal with employees? Why become a manager? If you can make this kind of money by yourself and you don't have to deal with anybody, it makes your life so much less complicated. And I know that you can't scale and you can't go big, and I know that people have this conception of business as in it has to be perpetually growing forever. And you see that stuff on Shark Tank, right? This is where people get their business ideas from. This is where people think of what an entrepreneur is because they see people on Shark Tank pitching their businesses, and they start thinking like, oh, I know all about business because I've seen a couple episodes of Shark Tank. But no, those guys are investors. They're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into an idea, into a person, into a company, because they want to times it by 10, times it by 100. They're looking to grow their investment. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm cool making $600 or $1,000 a day. I'm fine with that. So I don't need to build all these big, huge systems and build this huge business and grow it big time. So when people want to ask me, well, when are you going to hire employees? How are you going to scale? I'm not. I don't care about scaling. I'll put this money in my pocket. I'll go buy my iPhone. I'll drive around in my cool car that I love. I'll live in my house that I like living in. I'll live the lifestyle I want. I don't give a shit about scaling. So anyway, if you want to do what you want, when you want, how you want, for who you want, and how much you want, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys.